Alright guys, so I'm under the hood right now, and here you can see the throttle body. So what you're going to want to do is first you're going to want to remove that bolt, that bolt, that bolt, and that bolt. They are all 10mm bolts, and I'm going to be doing that with my Ingersoll impact wrench to just make it a little quicker. Be right back when I got that done. Alright guys, so now you got those 4 bolts out. Make sure you unplug these 2 wires right here. This one's going to come right off of there, and this one is going to come out of right there. So now that you got the bolts off, you can just yank it right up. And you can see there's probably a gasket under there. You're going to want to take that out. If there is one, I don't seem to be finding one under here. So let's bring you guys to the next step. Alright guys, so this spacer is going to rise up your throttle body, but there's a couple things attached to your throttle body that are going to have to rise up as well. So it comes with a couple spacers, and so you're going to have to unscrew that bolt right there. You're going to have to unscrew that bolt down there. It's kind of tricky to get to. Looks like we're going to have to find out a way to get to it. These also look pretty rusty, so before you start trying to impact wrench them, try to put some rust buster or something on there so that you don't strip them right away. Then there's one more bolt you got to get to, which is back here. That seems a little bit easier. So this is going to raise this part up right here, which is what attaches to your gas pedal, and which is what you're going to pull when you're under the hood trying to throttle it. And this has got to go up with the throttle body so it doesn't make anything tighter, and it doesn't make it so that you accelerate right when you start your car up. So let's get those unbolted, and let's get the spacers in there and throttle body spacer in there. I'll show you how that goes. Alright, so I got that part unbolted. It's pretty easy with the rust penetrating spray. So this is all loose and everything. So what we're going to do in this part is we're going to take 3 of the washers, all 3 spacers, and there are 3 shorter screws that are included with the kit that are threaded all the way through. These are the screws that we're going to want to use with these spacers on here. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, so now you can see I got those spacers in there. I got the nuts tightened up just a bit, but you're not going to need these nuts anymore. These 3 short ones that came with your stock throttle area. So you can use those for a later project or just have extra nuts laying around. But I threaded the washer on top so that the nut doesn't collide with the rust on the throttle already. And I got all of them tightened down a little bit. I'm going to tighten them with my impact wrench. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you have a variable speed on your impact, make sure it's very low. You don't want to torque these too much. Yeah, so I would recommend using a ratchet for this, because you don't want to tighten them down too much, but I've gotten used to using my impact wrench, and I've developed a good feel for how tight they can get. So let's just quickly torque those down. Alright guys, we're at the good part. We are going to install the throttle body spacer into the throttle body now. So, now that you have the throttle body lifted up from these spacers, you can actually take it up, and then you're going to slide a gasket right in there before you slide the throttle body in there, and then you're going to throw a gasket on top of the throttle body before you tighten all this down. Let's get to that part. Alright guys, I got the camera propped up in the engine. Don't really know if you're getting the best view, but now I don't have to hold the camera. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift this up, you're going to throw a spacer under there. Alright, now you're going to line it up with all the holes and everything. Now you got your throttle body spacer. Make sure this is right set up. You'll be able to know because your letters are C. You can have this point whatever way you want, doesn't really matter. I'm going to have mine point forwards, so I want to be able to see the letters. See that I put an upgrade on there. Alright, so what I'm going to do instead is actually put the bushings, not bushings, spaces on the throttle body before I put it in there, so that I don't have to align those very much. Alright, so these are on here pretty good. Don't know if you guys can see that. Now I'm gonna slide this under here. Doing this all in one take, guys, so sorry if I mess something up. Alrighty, so now we got it lined up. We just gotta line up the holes on top too. And now we can put our screws through once I get it completely lined up. Alright, so I'm going to take the leftover screws that have a space in them. You can see that. There's a space right here where it's unthreaded. We're going to use these screws right here. I just had a bird fly out into my engine. Strange. Alright, so I'm going to take one of the washers, put it onto the screw before I get it through there. And then I'm just going to stick the screw through so that it'll make it easier for me to line up all the rest of the screw holes. Alright, this is going to be a little bit tricky because I only have myself here right now. My buddy should be here in a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to cut to the chase, and when I show you this installed, this is going to take a little bit, so I'll cut right to there. Alright, so it just took some lining up. Took about 5 minutes for me to line it up. I mean, it's not that hard, like just lining it up, but once you get like 2 screws in, you'll be fine lining it up. You'll feel it twist and twist and twist, but it's not actually lined up with the real threaded hole. Once you feel some resistance, that's when it's really threaded, and you can start using your impact tool. So you're going to want to thread them in a diagonal pattern, meaning thread this side, then this side, then this side, then that side, so that it all gets torqued down evenly. And yep, so you can see how the throttle body is raised a little bit. Sorry, I'm in the sun. You can see that under there, the RC logo. I think that's kind of cool. And you can kind of see the silver spacers of the throttling area. You can still see you push that and everything. So yeah, let's start this up. Make sure we don't have any engine light. Yep, let's start this thing up. I'll see if I can prop this camera up. Alrighty, so about to start it up. Let's make sure there's no engine lights. Alright, we're running well. Had a little bit of an iffy startup, but no engine lights. Let's give it some revs, see if you guys can hear this. Seems to be handling revs a lot nicer. Sounds a little bit better. I don't know if it's deeper or louder, but sounds pretty good. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Today I installed a rough country throttle body spacer for my 96 XJ. There are a lot more upgrades to come, so make sure you guys stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. See ya.